Hello there, people of the internet. This is probably going to be a pretty quick little video, and that's alright because I got someplace to go, but I don't need a lot of time to talk about this thing. I picked myself up a Ruger P89. Anyone who's ever heard anything about these little handguns knows that they are basically tanks that will run anything and run basically indefinitely. So it's not going to take a whole lot for me to talk about this thing. Let's go ahead and talk about the specs real quick. It's got a SIG style lockup on the top of the barrel, meaning that the top of the barrel locks up into the ejection port, as opposed to like a 1911, which has actual locking lugs in the barrel. But it has the 1911 little loop where the attachment bar right here locks into. Forgive my lack of terminology on these particular nomenclatures. I don't necessarily have all the knowledge on that. But the little 1911 barrel loop and the SIG style locking system, it's an interesting little hybrid. This does have an alloy frame on it, so it is a little bit heavier than a polymer framed handgun. However, it is a double stack 15 round capacity handgun. That being said, I have a grand total of 15 rounds of full metal jacket 9mm. And I have 2 magazines, so I split that 15 rounds up between the 2 magazines, and I'm going to see how both these magazines run. Granted, they're not, at full capacity, but I'm still going to see how they each run. This is a pretty heavy, bulky pistol, and it does have a decocker on it. Let me go ahead and show you guys that. It does have ambidextrous decocker on it, so you can activate it whether you're left-handed or right-handed. Pretty much just pull that down, it decocks the firearm, and now you have a firearm that is, well, the hammer is no longer back. The decocker also works as a safety on this particular model, not with all of the P89 series, but on this particular model it does. It disconnects the trigger, and as you can see, the hammer's not moving, so the firearm is not going to fire. We have ambidextrous magazine release as well on this firearm, as you can see from both sides. However, it's a tiny little thing, and it's not a push button like what I'm used to. You actually have to push it forward in order to disconnect the magazine and pull it out. We got ourselves a lanyard loop on the bottom of the pistol hand grip right here. So in the event that this is 1890 and you want to be cavalry and carry around your handgun and keep it in a single point sling so you don't drop it off your horse, you could actually do that with this in the event that you have a time machine. We have 3-dot sights on this thing. They're red dots, and I can't really see them all that well, so they may as well not exist, but that's just because I myself am blind. I have not fired this thing yet. I don't know how it's going to run. I got just cheap steel case stuff because I was told that this thing can run basically anything. I was told these run for basically forever, so these things are apparently tanks, and there's people out there that run extremely hot, defensive ammo through these, and heavy full metal jackets, 147 grains, 124 grain, or the lightweight 115 grain, which is what I will be running through this thing. I suppose I can talk about the history a little bit behind these handguns. This right here was Ruger's input, with lack of better terminology, into the trials trying to replace the 1911. Obviously, it lost to the Beretta 92S, so the M9 was adopted instead of this little girl right here. Well, not this right here, but the beginning of the P series. P85, which was the predecessor to this right here, had some issues with the decocker accidentally firing the handgun just due to inertia. P89 series, that was fixed. I think later series was basically the same style of handgun, but it was like shorter, lighter weight. I'm not sure about the capacity behind those. I haven't actually messed with those myself, but this right here appears to be one of the best full-size double stack 9mm in the P series of handguns. Definitely better than the originals, just due to the decocking system having issues in earlier series of these firearms. Like I had said before, not all of them are ambidextrous, but this one is, but that doesn't really matter to me because I am right-handed. I'm not left-handed, so I would be using this regularly anyway. Alright, that being said, I don't know where this thing's going to shoot, like I claimed already. I have not shot this thing yet, and I don't know if it's even going to run properly. So first thing I'm going to do, as I do with every firearm that I bring out on the channel that I have not shot yet, I'm just going to put a round into the dirt, make sure this thing doesn't explode. I'm sure it's not going to explode. Let's get a feel for the recoil impulse. The way that the frame bulges out, I can't really get the grip that I'm used to on my other handguns, but I'm also used to like polymer framed handguns. This being a metal alloy frame, definitely heavier and bulkier than the polymer frames that I'm used to. The firing pin in this thing also looks a little crooked. I'm going to go ahead and hold my head away from that just in case that firing pin decides to fly out of this handgun. Let's see if it fires. Well, she fired, and it looks like she ejected. We're in battery. Yeah, the recoil on this thing, the recoil impulse is extremely mild with the 115 grain projectiles that I'm using right now. If I were to bump it up to like a 147, it would definitely be more. Let me go ahead, take aim downrange. I'm just going to aim at our target and put like, let's call it 2 rounds downrange. I'm going to walk down there and I'll have a look at our target and I will see where this thing is hitting. There's 1 and there's 2. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and use the decocker on this and we'll see if it actually goes off. Make sure my hand's out of the way if it does go off. It did not go off. That's fantastic news. Well, those 2 rounds are about 2 inches apart from one another, but they're also about, I don't know, 8 inches or so to the left. So I'm going to go ahead and put some more rounds down range, continue to work this thing out. The rear sight is dovetailed, so I will be able to adjust windage on this thing. So in the event that I have to, and I probably will have to, adjust windage on this, I'll be able to do that. Elevation looks good though, which is good because I don't think that there's an elevation adjustment on this thing. So let me go ahead. I'm going to aim for the same spot and see if they continue to hit where I was hitting before. Alright, that one felt a little funny, so we might have a flyer. There we go. That was more on target. How many rounds do I have in this magazine? I thought it would have been empty by now. There we go. That's more like it. And then to replace the mag, you have to push the mag release forward. That mag comes out. Obviously the firearm locks open. New mag in. Right here's our slide release. Push that down and now we have ourselves a loaded handgun. Decocking it, just in case it fires. I will set it down, go down there, have a look at my target and see what I'm working with. Alright, well, no hiccups with it. That's a good sign. Elevation is good, but we are definitely hitting left. I got, you know, a group about that big at the 35-40 yards that we're at. So that's pretty good. But they're about 8 inches to the left, with the exception of that one that felt funny. It's like way down, way lower than the others were. So I have my new magazine in this thing, and I'm going to go ahead and aim to the right side of the steel, and in theory we should hit it if we're hitting a couple inches to the left. Let's see how well this works out for me. Yeah, there we go. And I can see where I hit the steel too. Yeah, this thing is just hitting a little bit left. All right. Well, that was pretty damn good. All right, well, it ran through all of the rounds that I brought out here to run through it. Decocker works, magazine release works, slide lock works. Both these magazines seem to work. Of course, this right here is just 15 rounds that I threw through this thing, so who knows how reliable it's actually going to be. I'll make more videos on it and, you know, put more rounds through it whenever I have ammunition available to me. So, hey, folks. Thanks for watching. I appreciate your time. This right here was me just kind of test running this thing, seeing how it worked. And, I mean, I just picked this thing up. I have not shot it yet before this video, so this was a good little test run. So, did I say thanks for watching yet? I think I did, but I'll say it again. Thanks for watching, guys. Like, subscribe, share. Description below has a bunch of stuff. Go look at it. And I think that's all the YouTube outro that I typically say. So, you guys go off, have yourself a fantastic day. I got somewhere to be, so I'm going to go ahead and continue to cut this video a little bit short. This is a very cool little handgun. I like the lack of recoil on it. With how heavy it is, it doesn't feel like I'm used to shooting like polymer frame 9mm, and there's some pretty jumpy recoil on those. But this right here, just the recoil impulse is very off-putting. Definitely not what I'm used to. So yeah, that's actually pretty sweet, and it seems accurate. I was smacking my steel. All right, you guys go off, have yourself a fantastic day, and I will see you guys on the next video. Been a little while since I've done this. Bonnie and Clyde be damned. The poor man's Garen. It's a shame that bolt-action shotguns aren't more mainstream.